Welcome to JONCAST. We're live.
We're doing it.
Welcome to JONCAST. I'm here with Phil Bowling and Ethan Bell,
Yeah.
and we're going to be discussing some awesome stuff today. Today was a big news story. Deadpool costume was revealed. Did you guys get a chance to check that out?
I did. It looks really cool. The thing is, I thought the movie was going to be like a lot like the trailer, where they're going to be combining the CG with like live action. And
Well, if you
seeing the costume, he looks. I mean, you can obviously tell it's a real person. It's a real costume.
yeah, Ryan Reynolds tweeted it from his Twitter account, so it was an official one. And if you look at his eyes, you actually see that one's like different. One's a little smaller, like he's like closing one eye.
Yeah, he's doing like the winking thing.
Yeah, so is it possible that those are like CG done? Because like all the classic like heroes in the comics, they have the like Batman. He has the white eyes. I think it's pretty cool that they're going with that style in the movie.
Yeah, I thought, oh, that could probably help because I mean, a lot of the emotion that's going to come from a mass hero with the body language, everything is all going to be in the eyes and like how they, move. And so
Yeah,
I feel like they would have to be CG with that, especially with the like how comic G Deadpool is. So
yeah, maybe some animatronic stuff too. Like, or I mean, maybe that's what it is, or making the eyes, the brows actually move and whatnot on the mask. I'm not sure what they're doing with it,
I
but
don't know. It looks very interesting. I'm really stoked for that movie.
the test trailer was all done in CG, which was I was surprised. It looked really good.
Yeah, I loved it. I love the test trailer. If the movie's gonna be anything like that, then the movie's gonna do well. Is how I feel.
Did you see it, Phil?
Yeah, I'm just really hoping they give it a really good, solid plot because I just don't want it to be a solid action movie without any base story because I don't want it to completely kill the character. I want it to be able to have some build up and have some good storylines. So hopefully we can actually look forward to more than one movie instead of just a one time.
Yeah, exactly. Um, if you actually saw the picture, it's actually a tribute to Burt Reynolds back in the day.
Mhm.
He did this photo where he's like lying on a bear and like he's naked and he's just like chilling there. And it's funny that they went with that picture, like making fun of that, which shows me that it's going to be a lot more funny. It's going to be geared towards what Deadpool is. He breaks the fourth wall. He's the merc with a mouth.
Yeah, yeah. I know there's like a lot of pop culture references in Deadpool and stuff. And that's leaning towards that as well.
Yeah, I'm just really stoked for it. I can't wait for it to come out. We got less than a year for it to come out. That they started filming already, so he's already doing stuff, obviously, because he's in the costume. So hopefully we'll get a trailer here soon. That's what I really want to see.
I don't think we'll see a trailer too soon.
Maybe Comic-Con.
Maybe if we're lucky. I say more towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt though Comic-Con. That would be huge. But you know how sometimes they show trailers at Comic-Con that they don't leak out, like the Batman versus Superman one.
Oh yeah.
Which have they even?
Which they haven't even released a public one yet.
Yeah, I don't understand why they haven't done that. Why are they waiting so badly? But maybe they're trying to brush it all up and make it look good, I guess.
Do y'all know if this Deadpool's supposed to be having like, are they going to be having like an unmasking during the video, during the actual movie? Because I'm wondering if they're going to try to maybe mimic the Deadpool's face from the X-Men versus Wolverine or X-Wolverine.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they want to erase that image that they did.
Yeah, because they kind of, yeah.
I think it's a revitalization, but there's talks that Wolverine might appear in it.
Really?
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Ooh.
I think it might make a cameo. I don't think that it'll be anything big.
Yeah,
It's kind of like an X-Men Days of Future Past.
tease them at the end.
Well, no, Days of Future Past, like there's a scene where they're going and gathering all the mutants. Xavier and Magneto actually, they found Wolverine and they approached him in a bar, and he's sitting there drinking a drink, and he just goes "fuck off."
Yeah. Well, see, it would be awesome if they actually if they want to do a Deadpool Wolverine movie in the future. Don't obviously do it with the first one, but they could tease Wolverine at the end. Maybe you just coming in and just like hacking them up in pieces, and then you're just like, "Why'd you do that? Can you give me a chimichanga?" But it's gonna be good. That's for sure. Did you guys see the Lex Luthor picture they put out?
I saw that as well. And here's what I think he actually that photo's kind of convinced me that he's gonna be able to do Lex Luthor, because my main issue is I don't know, he's every movie I've seen him in, the only I don't know, he's an iffy actor. I mean, the last movie I saw him in was Now You See Me, magician movie.
Yeah,
And I mean, he did okay, but like he's never had a role I feel that's like Lex Luthor, and it's gonna be different.
To that standard, to that height.
I saw someone Photoshop that picture with him and like having the kryptonite in his hand and like having a suit on and stuff. And I gotta say, it looked really good. And I think that he would be, I think he's gonna play a good Lex Luthor, honestly.
I think he is, but we don't even know how Lex Luthor is gonna like be in that movie. Like,
There's
what's
so many variants.
Because I mean, it's picking up off of where Man of Steel left off, and if you look at Man of Steel, if you're following that Superman canon with that, like Superman pretty much wandered around and saw, how does he know Lex Luthor? What's his affiliation with Lex Luthor? And this, when and other things, like
Yeah, they haven't really established.
which Lex Luthor is he gonna portray? Is what I'm trying to say. Is he gonna be like Superman's best friend, or
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting which route they actually end up choosing for that. I heard that he's supposed to be kind of like a blogger, techie type. So I'm assuming maybe he's running like a company like Apple or something, making fun of Apple, being like kind of a tech tycoon. But Lex Luthor has always portrayed the character that like he doesn't. It's not that he hates him; it's that he's an alien, he's a threat. What if he's like he doesn't say that Superman? Oh, he does save people, but what if he doesn't want to save somebody? Basically,
yeah,
he sees that one day he'll see that Superman will become a threat. So he's like, why don't we neutralize it now?
Mm.
And I would like to see that kind of Lex Luthor play out, where he's actually got people behind him. He's like, oh yeah, he's right. He could just kill us all in a matter of seconds.
I feel like they are gonna point to that now that you bring that up, because I mean, just because you watch Man of Steel, there is so much just public destruction in the fight between him and Zod and everything, and it's just like you don't. I mean, it's not like they show anybody die, but in all that huge fight and all the explosions and buildings they're going through, and there is so many just casualties,
The anti-gravity.
general public and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
so many people died.
yeah, and so now the world sees him. Hey, you did save us all from dying and become slaves of Zod.
Look what you did.
But it's hard to like see that world when everybody's already dead, and it's like, couldn't you have just stopped them before you killed all these people by accident?
That's the only thing I never found realistic about some of the like Marvel things. They just really blow my mind. Is that yeah, they're amazing and they save human lives and they're doing good for their humanity in the movie they're portraying it. But just the global destruction of like the Hulk and like Superman, just billions and billions of dollars of like destruction around the city. Just
Well, that's
yes,
I mean, that's
what it goes into Civil
yeah, I was
War.
gonna say that's what they
Yeah.
really do in Civil War. That's why they want all the superheroes to release their secret identities so they can be held accountable for the public destruction that they
Yeah.
cause.
So yeah, hopefully DC will play that up too with Superman.
Mm.
It would be kind of cool to have like Superman in a trial. Like he gets cleared off, but it's just like you have like people Lex Luthor in this courtroom,
Yeah.
like saying, "Look what this man did," and presenting evidence against him. And then you have some people like kind of side with him, kind of right wingers in a way.
Yeah, well, you saw the Superman versus Batman poster, and you see Batman.
Oh, he's ready. He's ready. He's pumped.
He
and
has
ready to
kryptonite
go.
in his hand, though. Did you see it? I don't know if somebody added that
Yeah.
or whatever. But how does he even know about kryptonite in this Superman canon, and where did he get it from? How does he know what the Kryptonians are and all this other stuff? I mean,
Well, also, how do we know how long it's been since Man of Steel? You know what I mean? How long has he
yeah.
been Superman?
You have to also think that Bruce Wayne, Batman, he knows. I mean, he has a worldwide network of people. He's
Yeah,
a billionaire.
and
who
Batman's supposed
can know
to be
anything.
Batman's supposed to be established already in this one.
Mm.
Like he's been Batman for a while.
well, I don't like. Even Superman doesn't even know about kryptonite, is what I'm saying. Like in Man of Steel, they never mention anything, or you never see anything about kryptonite.
Yeah.
So how does Batman know that it's his weakness when they technically humans before Zod and Superman never had any contact with Kryptonians?
Well, okay. There's also the fact that Wayne Enterprises and LexCorp are the biggest companies in the world. That could possibly be if Lex Luthor ends up studying you know, super. We've been studying you. I've got my top scientists on it. We figured out what your weakness is, and it's kryptonite or something. You know,
I guess I could see where they're coming, where they made their own like artificial thing.
maybe.
I don't know, but because like they do have like the red sunlight on. I can't remember Man of Steel, didn't they? Because he didn't. Yeah, he ends up killing Zod in Man of Steel, so he has to.
Sending him to the dimension or whatever.
He doesn't say.
FYI, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler: that movie's been out for like 3 years.
Just some people like.
No, it doesn't. It's not a spoiler if it's been out for 3 years. It's not. It's like
I even think it's not a spoiler if it's been out for 1 year. But that's
I don't
just
either.
me.
That's
Ring ring. But okay, moving on into some other news. Oh God, the dogs have awakened. Have you guys heard that Simon Pegg says Star Trek 3 is going to be moving more into like the old TV show style, being more optimistic and whatnot with it?
I did see that. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I don't have anything against it, and I mean, I knew enough throughout the years just from like general like I don't know, hearing about it and watching like different TV shows that reference it. But like the only like Star Trek that I've ever watched were the 2 newest movies.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty good too.
I like them, and that's why I don't have anything against it. But like I have always preferred Star Wars over Star Trek.
Yeah, and see that's why a lot of people like the new Star Trek movies because J.J. Abrams tried to make them more like Star Wars, at making them more action oriented, and which is kind of like Simon Pegg because he's writing for Star Trek 3. He says he wants to really make it, either trying to make it more go into that classic style. Because honestly, they're probably gearing up to make a show. It's been a while since there's been a Star Trek show, so
Yeah, I mean, but is it going to be canon with the movies where like they're not going to have the same actors? I mean, those are movie
yeah, but
actors.
they could, you know, there's always been ways to work around that, and maybe after that, maybe those actors might want to move on to a show.
But then
I
again,
guess
if you keep up with the storyline of where they are currently in the movies, it's actually picking up right around where was it? Which one was it? It ain't the Next Generation.
The original series.
Yeah, it's around right when they actually pick up in the TV show.
Yeah.
So them starting now to go back to their main roots, I think is a really good choice in the direction they're heading because especially now, you know, with the loss of, you know, original Spock, that was the loss everybody, you know, heard around the world because, you know, he was a famous person for the Star Trek and he really made leaps and bounds. But them going back and tying into the original show, I think is a great choice
Well,
because
the thing is with the Star Trek movies, like it's canon with the show, but it's set in a parallel universes where like
Well, yeah, an
different stuff,
alternate reality
like, 'cause
because of time travel.
yeah, and they kind of hint at that in the beginning of the first one, and then the second one, somebody like Khan originally kills Spock, right? And that pisses off Kirk.
Yeah,
But doesn't Kirk die in the second movie?
I think that's what. Yeah, Kirk dies.
Yeah,
Kirk dies eventually.
yeah, and so instead of Spock being the one dead, Kirk, I don't know, it's the events are switched where different things are
Yeah.
happening, so it's like I don't know. I can see how they could tie that in with the original show. I don't, but like
And also Zachary Quinto, he would probably go for a TV show. He's been on American Horror Story and Heroes.
yeah, I was gonna say he started on Heroes, didn't he?
Yeah, he was Sylar, the bad guy on Heroes. So
really inactive.
yeah, and I think that maybe he wouldn't mind going back to television, and a bunch of the other actors might not mind going on television and continuing the show. Maybe even on like a premium network or on Netflix or something.
Yeah, I could see where they could make. I mean, shit, Kevin Spacey does House of Cards. And
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
why they turn it down because they know, especially of a show this proportionate with already such a massed fan base, they would be stupid almost to turn
Yeah,
it down.
and
Just
then you
because
think about
there's
the
so
actors
much
that make
money
so
being
much.
made.
Yeah, the actors wouldn't mind it either because they're getting a heavy paycheck.
Exactly.
plus
'cause it's-
endorsements.
Yeah, because it's such a huge show with the already following fan base. So
And I think it's the best way to continue the story because it sets it up perfectly for them to already be established. You only have to go into the backstory. And they can do that monster of the week kind of, or civilization of the week kind of story, and maybe mix it with some of the classic stuff too, like holodeck stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be really interesting to see what they could do with it.
I don't know. You can feel.
Um, Yeah.
I don't. Like I said, I'm so, even if it did become a show, I don't think I'd watch it.
But did you also hear the rumor that Star Wars that they're making a TV show like after they've done filming on Pinewood Studios for the Star Wars movie, that they're gonna start filming a TV show on the same exact set?
I think I did see something about that, but
There's been a rumored TV show since like the prequels had just came
that's
out.
always it's always.
But I think they just kind of put it on the
Yeah.
back burner because of these. They probably knew about the possibility of these movies happening in the future. So I mean, why would George Lucas would love to sell to Disney probably back in the day. He probably just had that set up in the future.
Yeah.
And so now that Disney owns it and they're just pumping them out, I'm excited for a TV show. I think it's time. I would love to be able to explore the Star Wars reality every week from my couch.
Yeah, I guess it'd be cool if they followed like different people from outside of the movies, different Jedi's, different. Because I mean,
I just don't want them to butcher it.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, that's always the case with everything.
we always, you see shows and things that, are going like right now, you have the Arrow, you have like all these different TV shows coming out, and sometimes they have good plots, and other times they completely butcher them. I just don't want them to mess up Star Wars because it's such a treasure for most people in their childhood, because that was my childhood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's my childhood. I think it's for the past 30 years it's been people's childhood.
part of it anyways.
Yeah. But I think that it's time for a TV show, and if they're filming on the actual sets that they film the movies on, I think it could be a really cool idea to delve into like maybe storylines that they mention in the movies, and then they show it, and so then you can like while you're waiting for the next movie to come out, you can actually like see other storylines develop in the same universe.
Yeah, speaking of like the sets for Star Wars, you see that the city or the land where they filmed for Tatooine,
Yeah, ISIS took it over.
ISIS took it over.
It's crazy, man.
ISIS took over Tatooine.
Oh my lord.
That sucks, man. I hope someone goes there and takes them out, but not Tatooine. Make sure they. So some guys actually rebuilt the Lars homestead there. Like they just went out there and they just
made it.
well, it was still there, but they went there. It was really bad because the sand had hit it over the years. So they went and they repaired it, and it looks awesome now.
That's cool. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they don't actually have that set up as like a tourist attraction or something. Like, oh, this is.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do. So I mean, somebody's making money off that.
Yeah. Okay. You know where they like the kitchen area and where it looks like the downstairs area or whatever.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen.
That's actually like a bed and breakfast and a bar. That was filmed in a different location, but you can go stay there.
I was gonna say like Lord of the Rings. Like you go to New Zealand, they have a whole Lord of the Rings tour where you could visit all.
Yeah, you
all
go.
different
You have
places
a
where
drink
they
at
film.
Hobbiton.
Yeah, and the Green Dragon.
Yeah, that would be awesome actually.
That'd be pretty good.
So I heard you've been playing some Bloodborne.
I have. I hate that game and love it at the same time. I've been not huge, but I've followed the Souls games and like From Software, that series. I played Demon Souls when that first came out.
Yeah.
And that was different. These are hard games in a generation where you have different difficulties and games aren't set so many save points and checkpoints, and I mean there's stuff like that in Dark Souls, but it's like it brings back the classic, like you're gonna die and you're gonna die a lot.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to learn how to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no like cheap way to do it. I mean
I gave up.
people can find out he gave up on Dark Souls.
I can't.
Demon Souls I never beat. Dark Souls 1 I never beat. I played a lot of it. Dark Souls 2 I beat last year. A few months after it came out. I kind of put it down for a while, and then this is just. I broke a controller the other night playing it. It's just.
I put so many hours into it, just wasted part of my life.
I've heard people like just been quitting it. It's so hard. Some people on the Facebook group.
We had William, the guy in our group. He quit. He said he never played any of the Souls games, and he picked this up, and he said he plays games to relax, and he.
It is not relaxing.
It's not. You're gonna get mad.
It's
I don't
a
care
challenge.
where you are. Everybody's gonna get mad.
You
I'm enjoying it, and it's just like last night. I had a rage quit moment where I just I put my controller down and I stepped away and just laid on my bed for like 10 minutes just trying to cool down because I died and I lost a shit ton of. If you play the Souls games, you use like souls. Every time you kill an enemy, you get so many souls. and it's a currency, and it's what you use to level up and increase your stats. And
So how high are your stats now?
I would at the time I'm level 25 now, which I mean is really.
I've never played these games.
For the most part, like when you choose a base character, you start at like level 10.
Okay.
Or around there for most people. I mean, there are classes you can start as.
So what's your character?
I mean, there's not like.
I mean, like what
there's
class?
a class, but there's not a class. Like everybody's gonna pretty much play the same, and anybody can do other stuff.
Yeah.
But it depends on what you're gonna have to bump up and use your souls on, because every time you use your echo in this game, it's blood echoes. In the games before, it was souls. But if you use your blood echoes to level up, your next level is going to cost more, and it does that throughout the game. So, level 1 to bump up, it was like 500 blood echoes. It cost me like 4,000 now just to go up one level.
Yeah.
And like later, as you get further in the game, it's going to be like 20,000, 30,000, 45,000 to just go up one level. Which one level really it helps, but it doesn't help that much.
Yeah.
And then you also use these as currency, like I said. So anytime you got to repair items, you got to upgrade them. You want to buy new stuff. Like
it sounds intense.
Yeah, it is. And it's been like that with the Souls game. This game, with the combat, and this is probably why I felt like I was having a hard time at first. It's very similar, but it's a lot different. In the Souls games, you had shields and you could block. Well, I did find a shield in this game. I haven't equipped it yet because I've gotten used to it. But you don't have a shield; you have your gun.
Yeah.
And
got it.
the dodging's different. Like in Dark Souls, like when you dodge, you did a roll. You either rolled forward, rolled back, rolled to the side, or whatever. And while you were doing this roll, if you timed it right, you were actually pretty much invulnerable. So if an enemy sword went through you while you were doing this roll, you didn't take any damage from it. You just kept on rolling. In this game, somebody hits you, you're getting hit. That's it. I mean, that's how it works. So it's really complicated. And
Yeah.
the gun aspect is like it's hard because I'm having fun, but it's intense. It's just hard.
Yeah, everybody says it's a freaking hard game. I don't know if I could even dare play that game. It seems like it would just
I feel
infuriate me.
What everybody should do is go and pick up because you can pick up the first Dark Souls like game of the year.
Yeah.
For like $10-$20. Game of the year has like all the DLC with it.
Yeah.
And if you play that, you can get a feel for it, and then I feel like you can dive into this one and actually appreciate it. And I mean, like the graphics are, I mean, they're not super great, but they're not bad at all. We were actually because they have a co-op multiplayer. You need to put that on silent.
You need to take a phone call.
All right.
That's all good, man.
No, that is funny.
So Bloodborne is.
They have like a co-op multiplayer where you can summon your friends in,
That's
and they
cool.
can help you out. But like me and my buddy Jacob were playing, and we're in this one part. We were actually having some frame rate issues because of him and me being on the screen at the same time, and then like just the scenery and stuff, and it actually kind of slowed the game on. I don't know if they meant for that to happen or
might be a little too intense
Hmm.
for a system or something.
And there's no way to turn the graphics down, so it's like okay.
But does it look good?
Oh, I like it. It looks great. You can make your characters look retarded.
So is this set in hell or something?
It's set in a world.
Hell-like world.
It's not hell-like world. It's something's happened to like this place. It's called the first place I've been to anyways. It's called Yarnum.
Yeah.
And all the humans that live there's something going on called the hunt, and that's what you are. You're a hunter, and you've been summoned to hunt the beast and kill all the beasts and end the hunt, so everybody can go back to living their lives like normal. It's pretty much like think Silent Hill, like when Silent Hill like takes over. That's kind of like what it is. It's like something's like taking over the city, and that's why you have all these like enemies and creatures and monsters and beasts and stuff.
Sounds cool.
You're recruited as a hunter to kill the beast and try to end the hunt. And the thing with like the Souls games and the story is not. You kind of gotta like find tidbits and read the lore and stuff like that you find to kind of figure out what's going on. And I've only found like 3 or 4 little notes that kind of explain it. But in like talking to some of the like NPCs and stuff, I kind of get the impression that the hunters are to blame for the hunt to begin with. Like they're the ones who brought it.
Yeah.
Like the hunt didn't show up and then they showed up. They showed up and then this came with them.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how it works. And like
that's interesting. I'll have to definitely check that out.
It's really neat. It's a great game.
I also heard that they just announced that Jason and Predator are going to be in Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like in the last one they had, you could get Freddy Krueger as a DLC character.
Yeah.
And incorporating people from these other franchises are kind of what people always wanted, especially with Mortal Kombat. That's been a huge franchise since the early '90s.
Yeah.
And people are oh, I want to see Scorpion fight Predator. I'm like, that's gonna be a cool fight. And
honestly, screw a Mortal Kombat game. They should just do a whole horror franchise, and you just have like all of these different horror characters and just have them battle each other. That would be really fun.
I think it'd be cool, but I feel like it would not be successful enough to where
I'm sure people would play that.
I feel like what Mortal Kombat has going on, where they're incorporating. I feel like what they should do.
Not Soul Calibur.
Is incorporate. Oh, I saw that Spawn might be coming to Mortal Kombat too.
Spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn would be fucking awesome.
Like, because he was in Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
And Spawn, I've always.
He was one of my favorite
I think he
characters
would
of
be. He would
Spawn
be
is
a really cool Mortal Kombat
I want another Soul Calibur game. Like,
Yeah.
We're gonna do another
5
one.
sucked.
Yeah, but
like 5 was a letdown. 4 was really good. I feel like they might do another Soul Calibur. They might, but 5 was just it sucked.
I'm just gonna go back to the original style.
No, I don't know. I think 4 is probably my favorite actually.
Yeah,
I like 3.
I like 3 a lot, and 2 was fun, but I always wanted to play the GameCube version because they had Link as a
That's the one I
character.
played. My friend had a GameCube, so I played it.
I always played the PS2 one where they had Heihachi from Tekken. And I mean Heihachi's cool, but he didn't have any weapons, and I thought the weapons, that was the coolest thing about Soul Calibur, is fighting with the weapons, and everybody's got their own weapon.
Yeah.
And they're different fighting styles. And then the character creation, which they brought in 3, and it just got better. 4 I feel like is the best. Is only thing I didn't like from 4 is the equipment you put on your characters affected certain stats.
Mm-hmm.
And in 5, they got rid of that, but they didn't have as much or as cool looking equipment and stuff. So you really couldn't make your people as cool as you wanted to. But I made some pretty cool people in 5. I mean, the character creation is probably the best.
Yeah, that was always fun. You could make
Juketsu.
Yeah, he had a.
I saw someone make a Ronald McDonald fighter.
Yeah, they make Ronald McDonald
Yeah.
A friend of this guy I know. He made a Bob Barker from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Because there was a chick that fought with like a spear and like a flag.
Yeah.
But and you could get it where it was a golf club and a golf tee or a golf flag, like a pin flag.
Yeah.
And so he made Bob Barker, and that's what he fought with. So it was
Awesome.
Bob Barker from Happy Gilmore, and he made like Zelda before Zelda was like in Smash Bros and stuff. Like he made Zelda as a people. You see all different people. I made a few people. Like if you ever watch like Rurouni Kenshin the anime, and the 5th one I made Sigurd Sanosuke.
Mm-hmm.
He fought with a big ass sword, which I used Siegfried. I actually made him pretty accurately, and I made this cool werewolf dude using an unarmed style, and he could shoot laser beams out of his eyes. I don't know how that played into it.
That's awesome.
But it was really cool. But
well, I want to give a big shout out to David Briggs. He was our winner of our first Facebook group competition.
yeah, congrats, David. I actually didn't even see him answer. I just
And he got the answer was Groot. Yeah, we just picked a Marvel character and asked people to guess it. He went through a day and a half before someone got it, and he won a little mini baby Groot pop vinyl. And if you go to our facebook.com/group/JONCAST, you too can win awesome prizes. And this has been another episode of JONCAST. Thanks, Phil Bowling, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And Ethan Bell.
I'm sure I'll be back.
And yeah, have a good one. We're still on the air.